Hello, people. How are we all doing? Welcome one, welcome all to the Liverpool versus West Ham United match review. The Reds won again. The Reds won 3-1 at Anfield against a pretty decent West Ham United side. Goals from Mohamed Salah, Darwin Nunez, and Diogo Jota secured the win for the boys. It was a tough game. It was a tough game. Pre-game, there was a lot said by a certain English striker from West Ham by the name of Michael Antonio, who rightly got what he deserved when he dropped one of the biggest stinkers of the season against us. But the point of the matter is, job done. The table now is looking tasty. It is looking very, very tasty. We sit second in the league. 6 games played, 5 games won, 1 game drawn against Chelsea, which looks worse and worse with every passing week. 16 points out of a possible 18, 10 goal difference. We're looking good. We're looking good, and there's certainly conversations to be had about what this Liverpool team can achieve this year and whether our expectations of them should be adjusted. But if you're new here and you're not already, make sure to hit that like button, hitting that subscribe button, turning on that notification so you don't miss any more content. Let's get straight into it. So where should we start? I think we'll start at the back. We'll start at the back. I might try and do some player. I'll do player ratings and have a discussion while we're doing it. Hopefully, the website that normally does it is actually here and actually working, actually willing to do this. This is Anfield. Are they letting me do it? 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 Yeah, don't care. Yeah, don't care. Yes! The website is here. So, let's get these player ratings done and I'll discuss a little bit on each player sort of thing as we get going. Share screen. Is it going to work? Yep, there we go. Perfect. Perfecto mundo, people. So, we'll start off with Alisson. Now, Alisson, nothing he can do about the goal, I'll be completely honest. That's a ridiculously good header, and it's something I'll touch on now, actually. I'll touch on it even more and get to Van Dijk, but something I noticed in the fan base yesterday was this idea that someone has to be at fault for every single goal we concede. Someone has to be blamed. They can't just be, a very nicely worked goal. Let me see if I can. Yeah, that's a bit better. It can't just be a very nicely worked goal sort of thing. There's always someone at fault. And to me, that's just a flawed idea. That West Ham goal was just a very well worked goal. Really nice counter. Really good play. No one was necessarily at complete fault for it. And that's fine. That happens. That happens. So I don't get what this thing is. And people saying, "Oh, Robertson, he shouldn't have followed the run of Bowen. If Bowen's on side, then no one's there to stop him, so he has to follow that run." Then you've got the Van Dijk stuff. If you've played centre back, you know why Virgil van Dijk has done what he's done. It looks lax, but his momentum means he can't get back there. He's ran back. The ball has been cut back. Van Dijk has to stop, which is why he chucks a leg out at it. When I first saw it, I did blame Van Dijk, but I know he's not at fault because it's not him. That is just what happens. It was just a very well worked goal. So no one's at fault for that. So the goal don't have any blame on Alisson for. Made a ridiculous save from a Souček header, an absolute joke of a save on that Souček header. Really, really good. Yeah, I think that's a solid 8 out of 10 from Alisson. An 8 or maybe even a 9. Robertson, again, there's a couple of moments where, he seems to have a knack of sitting behind the line, which it's been a thing for years with Andy Robertson. It's been a thing for absolutely years with Robbo, where the lines there, the offside lines there, and then Robertson's just sort of sticking back there, and he plays everyone on the side. That happened a couple of times But apart from that, it was a decent game from him. I'd probably give him a 7. He's had better this season, but he's had worse. It was just a 7 out of 10 performance. Joe Gomez can have a 9. Joe Gomez was superb. Joe Gomez was absolutely brilliant. John Stones would be if John Stones had that type of performance, people would be raving about it. He done so. I don't think he put a single foot wrong yesterday. The passing, brilliant. Great strength, great defensive work. Bodied Antonio in the middle of the park. On the ball, I've never seen Joe Gomez so good. He's had a really good start to the season, and there's going to be some interesting discussions about his future sort of thing, because what he's done so far is really, really impressive. This season has been really, really impressive, and maybe there's a world where when Trent returns from injury, an idea of Trent playing in midfield is thrown about and trialed out, because you don't want to move Joe Gomez out of the team because he's been so good. He's been brilliant so far this season. I thought he was arguably man of the match yesterday. Not a bad word to say about him off his performances in the past couple of weeks. Joel Matip can also have a 9. Joel Matip was brilliant. Joel Matip, there was a lot of doubts going into the game. Whenever you see a lineup, there's always the perennial or the perennial eye roll pick sort of thing. Joel Matip was that yesterday, but my God, did he play well? Antonio didn't get a sniff from him. He was winning all his aerial duels, won most of his ground duels. His passing was sound. His reading of the game was good. Really, nothing bad to say about Joel Matip. And we saw more of his attacking side. He was doing one of them adventurous runs yesterday, and he pulled most of them off. And you've got to remember that when you're up against opposition like this, the ability that he has to progress the ball with his dribbling and his passing, it's a really, really good thing to have for the team. And I think people have forgotten that a Joel Matip, when he plays well, is a really, really good centre back. Obviously, we know what Canati and Van Dijk is. But Joel Matip still has a lot to offer this club, and in games when he's on it. And I was really impressed yesterday. Another player who I thought had a shout for being man of the match, a 9 out of 10. Van Dijk can have an 8. Again, like I said, I don't believe that goal is necessarily his fault. I thought it was a real calm, composed Van Dijk performance, but I hold him to higher standards than the rest. Van Dijk was probably performing at the level of Gomez or Matip, but I expect that off Van Dijk. So for me, he has to sit in 8. It was still a very good performance from Van Dijk. He's really taken to this captaincy like a fish in water. He's just adapted to it so well, and everyone seems to have gotten a lift from it. It's a really, really positive thing, all things considered. McAllister, I think this was his best game so far. I really do. It's an 8 from me. I thought in the first 20 minutes, he was struggling with the physicality of it. I thought Souček was just dominating him. I thought Antonio was dropping deep and causing him problems. But he turned it on. He turned it on. And he was just fantastic. We got to see the passing side of his game yesterday. We got to see his on-the-ball creativity side a little bit more yesterday, because they were sitting back. They were inviting the pressure, especially at 1-1. They were sitting so deep, and you were almost asking for someone to get on the ball in that area and start creating. And that's exactly what he done. That is exactly what he done. The pass for Nunez's goal is ridiculously good. It's a ridiculously good pass. Perfectly weighted, perfectly placed. Brilliant. It's what we signed him for, and it's what you'd see more of if he was further advanced. But he's having to do a job as a lone 6DM, which I don't think he is. But he's having to do a job in that position. He's doing it fine. People are moaning, going, "Oh, he's not very good. He's not doing that." McAllister's been fine this season. He's not been as good as Szoboszlai, and I think that's what's people are judging him against that. Szoboszlai's been a revelation. I'm not judging McAllister by Szoboszlai standards. So for me, best game in a Liverpool shirt yesterday for Maka, an 8 out of 10. Got his assist, beat the 007 charges. We love to see it. Curtis Jones, it's a 7 or an 8. It's a 7 or an 8. I'll probably go 7. I'll probably go 7. I thought he was still decent yesterday. I think there's been a whole thing this today on Twitter with Curtis Jones was crap. He was this, he was that. No, people don't understand Curtis Jones's role. People get on at Curtis Jones when he's an attacking minded midfielder on the ball more loads because he's not very good. And then when he's doing the job he's doing now, where he's literally in that team to retain possession, recycle possession, and give it to the better players. People moan because he's not doing the stuff they were having a go at him about before. It doesn't make any sense. Curtis Jones knows his role in this team. He plays within his means, which is something every top team needs. They need a player who can come in, do a specific role, and not try and do anything else. Not try and screw the team up by being something they're not. Jones just comes in, does a job, gets on with it. And I can't knock him for that. And people moaning at him and saying he's not very good and he should be out of the team for this, that, and the other. It doesn't make sense. There is a reason why we are 14 games unbeaten with Jones starting. It's not a coincidence. It's not just a happy coincidence. Curtis Jones has played an important part in those games, but it's not flashy. His name's not Jonesinho, so people aren't seeing it. Understand what you're seeing, man, and appreciate it, because we moaned about this last season, about how the midfield didn't retain the ball. And now that we've got it, they're moaning that they're not being adventurous and more risky with the ball. You've got Soberslide there for that. You've got McAllister there for that. Why would you want an entire midfield that is trying to be proactive, especially when you've got Trent at right back, who is a very risky pass taker and risk taker? You don't need 7 players in your team who are trying to give the ball away, trying to create something. You need balance. Jones provides that balance, but people don't like it. So it's a 7 for Jones. I think he's been great this season, and I just hope people start to understand what he brings, because it's annoying when they're just so blind and ignorant to it. It's like they're in cuckoo land, not seeing it. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Soberslide, it's an 8 for me. It's an 8 for Dominic Soberslide. But he's just so good, man. He's just so good. It helps that he's a good-looking man as well, but he's just so good at the thing we call football. We bought him as an attacking mid, and everything I read about him, everything I saw about him as an attacking mid, I didn't realize he had these box-to-box capabilities. He was fantastic defensively yesterday. Attacking-wise, had a couple of moments. His free kicks, I'd like it if he could stop having issues with people in the wall and stop trying to, knock them out. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Look, Soberslai's boss. Soberslai is just boss. Let's not get it twisted. I think he's a superb player. Easily the sign of the season for me. There's no. I'm running out of ways to describe how good he is. He's just, when you go from what Henderson was offering the last 2 years to Soberslai, there's no ways to describe it. There's the feeling, the feeling, the sheer elation, the sheer joy. Dominic Soberslai is one of those players who makes you want to watch football. I'm enjoying watching Liverpool because I'm enjoying watching Soberslai. There's certain players in this team that just make you go, oh, when they're on the ball, get you excited, get you off your seat. Soberslai's one on. And I'm so happy we missed out on Mason Mount for him. As someone who wanted Mason Mount, I have never been more happy to be wrong. I've never been more happy to be wrong in my life. Thank you, Dominic Soberslai. You changed my life, man. You've changed my life. Darwin Núñez, it's an 8. It's an 8. Darwin Núñez is the funniest striker in the Premier League for me, because he's like a puppy. That's the best way I can describe him. He's like a puppy. When he has to think, he's not very good. But my God, when he's just thrown something on an instinct, he's so good. That chance he got, we know the one I'm on about, where Salah, he's held off Emerson, played it through, Núñez unmarked on the penalty spot, and he somehow, some way put it wide. That's Núñez when he has time to think, pick his head up, try and finish it. The goal he scored, which is a jump, he's been played in behind by McAllister, held off a man, jumped, flicked it with his foot past the goalkeeper. Complete instinct. Incredibly difficult finish, and he's made it look easy. He's such a funny striker. But what I'm loving the most about Núñez at the minute is he's now adapting to his role. It helps that we've got the midfield behind them for it. Last year, the midfield we had of Henderson, Fabinho, and You know, Keita and Thiago, and these midfielders that weren't performing last year, they didn't help unlock Nunes. You needed the false nines to come in and pick up that creativity void. Now that we have creativity in midfield, we now have the midfield and the defensive minded players and the squad all together, shall I say, to bring out the best in Nunes, to let him just operate as that in behind striker. But what I like most is the fact that he's also showing the other aspects of his game. His hold up play has been brilliant. He's been bullying defenders. He's really been holding his own. Last season, you were seeing games where defenders would get touch tight to him and he just fucking fall on his arse. And he wouldn't get them because it's not a foul. And you'd lose the ball and you'd see your arse. And it was annoying. This year he's giving him what he's getting. And I've been really, really impressed with Nunes in that sense. Physically, he's adapted his game. I just think we're really starting to see the striker that we bought. He's always going to miss chances. Whether we like it or not, he's going to miss those chances. But I'm fine with it if he's having the impact on games that he had yesterday, because he was a menace. He was a menace, and he might miss 2 chances, but he's gonna create 4, and that's worth it. Diaz 7. That might be controversial. That might rattle a few people. I think yesterday was a game where Luis Diaz tried to do too much at times. He'd get the ball, he'd take on a man, and then he'd stop, put his foot on it, try and take him on again, let him get back into shape. This is not a criticism of Luis Diaz. It just happens sometimes. Sometimes these opposition are set up so defensively, so deep. The type of play that Luis Diaz offers isn't really what we need. And he still had moments. He still was bright in aspects, but he was certainly the weakest of the 3 attackers. But I did enjoy. I thought we saw the best defensive work from him yesterday. I thought his tracking back, his work rate, that was the best we've seen all season. So a 7 out of 10 for Diaz. It's nothing to complain about. Mo Salah, I could easily go 9. I'm going to go 8, but I could easily go 9. He's a joke. Wins the penalty, scores the penalty, creative like you wouldn't believe. Probably could have got a second if he was just a little bit more lucky with bounces. A superb performance. He's the best player in the league for a reason. Mohamed Salah is just special, man. He's just so special, and I think we need to really appreciate what we've got before it goes, because we're never going to see another player like him. I think he's so good, and an 8 out of 10 is brilliant. Gravenberch, he was on for 30 minutes, didn't do much wrong, didn't do much right. 6. Gakpo, yeah, it's a 6 again. Jota got his goal, so it's an 8. Endo 6. That's pretty. That's sound ratings for me. 8, 7s, 9s across the board. It's really, really good from the boys. But let's get into some comments before we start discussing what the season holds for us. Because my guy Yavraj, we look good. Our start needs to improve, but hopefully that improves as each game goes on. It should do. It should do. I just think it's a thing with this team. And also a thing that opposition have against us, when you're up against a team as good as Liverpool, you're going to start quickly because you're going to want your moments against them, and that happens. The big thing for me is the fact that the mentality is back, the mentality monsters, whatever you want to call it. We are not getting affected when we're conceding. We were last year, and that was what was really killing us. Yeah, big as my guy Ryan, I can't lie, don't get over your head. Way too early to be saying title challenges. I mean, look, my expectations are still the same. I still am expecting from this season a minimum 3rd place finish, a Europa League win, and a domestic cup win. But from what I'm watching, I am seeing a side that, should the door open regarding a title challenge, we will be there. We will be there. Because this squad just looks so together. The quality is there. The what's it called? The togetherness, the morale, the chemistry, all that is there. And we've got a manager who is just so behind this new team. He's so behind it, and that goes a long way. We are looking ridiculously good at the minute. I know people are going to say, "Oh, you can see goals." We've never the only season we ever had complete control was 1920. But even then, there were games where it was ropey. I remember Sheffield United away. For 20 minutes, we were on the back foot there. West Ham at home, 20 minutes, you're on the back foot. This Liverpool team has never been a dominant side in the way City's were, where for 90 minutes, from start to finish, they control the game. We have never been that, and that is fine. But the fact of the matter is, we are being dominant in our spells, and they are not getting anywhere close to that. For 25 minutes in that second half yesterday, West Ham could not get out. We just had them pinned back, creating chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. I think we ended on 3.8 XG. That's how good we were. So I'm not worried in that sense. I'm not panicking. I'm not going, oh, it's this, that, and the other. No. And I don't think it's too early to say title challenges. I really don't. Tottenham next week will be a classic for the neutrals. It's certainly going to be an interesting game. VVDs look so much better. It still needs to cut out these errors. I don't think it's an error, though. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong. I just don't think it's a massive error from Van Dijk on that goal. I can't lie. I think we'll lose to Spurs. We're the only side who's unbeaten at that stadium still. VVD is looking much better. He has done, especially this season compared to last. Number 20 incoming. Fingers crossed. I'm sorry you guys will come comfortably second. You're a City fan, aren't you, Cundinho? Fair enough. I think Spurs will play into our hands. It allows us to counter-attack with the pace. Diaz, Nunes, Salah. I think it might be a game for Jota, but that's something we'll discuss on the preview show. That's something we'll discuss on the preview show, which I will make this week. I don't fear you guys. That's the crazy part. I think Man City should be fearing us because I think we are well and truly a threat to them. It is looking very exciting for sure. We're not playing our best just yet, but we can't complain. We keep winning. This is nowhere near our best, and that should be the thing that worries teams because let's say we do hit our stride. Who stops us? We're not playing. I don't think at any point in this 14-game run we have been at our best. In fact, it's longer than 14 games, isn't it? It's like 16, 17. In this entire unbeaten run, I don't think we've looked great. I think we've looked good at points, bad at points. But I don't think this has been, the Liverpool side that's at its best. And that's got to be worrying because even when we've not been great, we are 17 games or so unbeaten, which is mental. We need to cut out these poor starts, though. If we start poorly against Spurs, there'll be no coming back. Disagree. But I don't think we start poorly against Spurs. But there's always a way to come back. We should have beaten Chelsea now, 15 out of 15 points. So annoying we dropped points to Chelsea because starts of the season. Yeah, I should have had 18 out of 18. That Chelsea result gets worse and worse as we go through. But in the moment, I was happy with it. And that's the thing. Because that was Chelsea's best performance of the season. Mack in that first half was awful. Second half, he was quality. I think it was just he got the chance to showcase his skill set more. Nunes shutting his haters up. Nunes is never going to shut up his haters because their criticisms are valid. But that doesn't bother me. Their criticisms are Nunes is very wasteful. Yes, he is. But he still scores, so I've got no problem with it. My issue would be if he was wasteful and didn't score. Yes, we'd like him to score 3 of the 7 chances he creates. He's only scoring 1 at the minute. That's fine. Because at least it's going in. At least it's not costing us. You guys need number 6 and centre-back in January City Challengers. Disagree. I also think we're due to your injury situation, how you handle your squad building as a whole. I mean, right now you've got no Bernardo, no KDB, and no Rodri for Arsenal. Who are you playing there? Foden, Mateus Nunes, Calvin Phillips. It's looking long that time. I think it swings in both ways, mate. I think it does. Alisson 8, I agree. Stop it, Tom. VVD was relaxing that goal. Again, it comes down to issue playing centre back. Like I've played centre back before. I've conceded that goal before, but it wasn't a header. It was a shot. You've got to when you're running back, you're not expecting the cross to go there. You're expecting the cross to go across that way. So it's a good cross from Kufal to cut it backwards, which is what sends Van Dijk. Van Dijk is in the correct position if the cross goes around Robertson, but it goes back behind him. Bowen gets the jump on him, and he's close to it, but he's never going to get there because of the momentum. Yeah, Alisson, he should know what's behind him. He's not behind him. He's like there. He's to the right of him. Van Dijk is in the correct position if the cross comes in, but the cross goes back. That's what does him. VVD 2018, that's not a goal. Let's not judge Van Dijk now by the Van Dijk that was challenging Lionel Messi for Ballon d'Ors. It's not the same player because he had a bad knee injury. We're never going to get that player back, and we need to stop holding on to those standards. I'm holding him to the standards of the quad season, where he was a level below what he used to be, but he was still the best centre back in the world, and I think we are performing back at those levels again. Robbo 7.5, yeah, 7, yeah. Holy moly! I just told James you have the same conversation rate. I see my bad. Look, all I will say is you might be getting 2 streams today. That's all I'll say. A duck to what? I knew when I said it, I was wrong. I just couldn't remember what the saying was. That macro assist, yeah, it was class. I don't want Ram to go to Juventus. I don't think we need another midfielder. If we're getting this Andre fella, I don't think we need another one. It helps that he chose opposition fans too. Yeah, I saw that video of Soboslai against Lask. Finally, someone worthy to wear the number 8 shirt. I love the fact that we went from Gerrard to Soboslai. I like the fact that we just had a 7-year break with no one taking the number 8 as well. It was really, really good, that. I would have kept Henderson and sold Thiago. Disagree. The backheel pass to Salah to win the penalty was good from Nunes. He didn't mean it. Let's be honest, he didn't mean it. But I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Because that instinctual stuff is good. Darwin is defo 9. His link-up play is improving. He pulls defenders away from others. You give him 8, yet Gomez Matip 9. 9 when he was better than both. Disagree, Redbird. I think that's not me saying Nunes had a bad game. An 8 is still a good game for Darwin Nunes. Like, an 8 is a really good game. I just thought Joe Gomez and Joel Matip, they'd done 90 minutes midweek as well. I mean, that entire defence bar. Robertson done 90 minutes midweek. So coming to this game, Joe Gomez didn't put a foot wrong. Joel Matip didn't put a foot wrong. And I'm someone who doesn't really criticise Nunes for missing the chances because as long as he scores, I'm happy. But I don't think Nunes was at the same level of performance that Joe Gomez and Joel Matip were. Doesn't mean he had a bad game, though. Swear Salah is getting better as he's getting older. Salah's incredible. Like, he's the way he's adapting his game is a joke. Big ups my guy Panoscaus. Haaland missed 3 fairly easy chances before he scored. The whole City team directs the ball to him, so he gets way more chances than Darwin. But no one says shit about all Haaland or Mose misses. The reason why no one criticises them as much as there is a catalogue of those games where they still score at the end of it. I'm not one of the ones who gets on Nunes, but I can explain what it is. Darwin Nunes had games last year where he'd missed 4 or 5 and didn't score. The thing with Haaland and Salah is, if they're getting 5 chances a game, they're going to score one. I believe the narrative will change regarding him. Because he's now showing that when he's getting 5 chances a game, he's going to score one of them. The narrative will change soon enough with Nunes. But right now, it's going to stay by the fact that Darwin Nunes has games where he has loads of chances and can't score. So we're going to judge him a little bit more harshly, which I disagree with. We'll see what the team's really about against Spurs away. Get a win there and it's on. I agree. Give Darwin his flowers. His head didn't drop. He scored a brilliant goal, but some fans only want to concentrate on his misses. Strikers miss. Facts. The more chance they get, the more likely they're going to score. I'm not criticising Nunes. I want that out there. An 8 is not criticism. I gave Mo Salah an 8. I think Salah and Nunes performed at the same level. They wouldn't 8. So this isn't me saying that Nunes is bad, Nunes is this, Nunes that. I love the fact that Nunes isn't getting affected by his misses as much anymore. I love the fact that Nunes is showcasing the other side to his attacking game now. I love the evolution we've seen of Darwin Nunes. I think he's now our best striker quite comfortably and arguably one of the undroppable ones. I think Gakpo's really got a lot of work cut out for him to get that spot back. But he is still open. If Salah had missed that chance, I'd have a go at him. If Diaz missed that chance, I'd have a go at him. If Jota missed that chance, I'd have a go at him. Because it's a pretty shit miss, whether we like it or not. But I'm not sitting there judging him by that miss and saying, oh, he's this, he's that, he's the other. No. So don't take this as Darwin Nunes criticism. I love Nunes. I think he's brilliant. And if you see me on streams with Hassam or Redmond or Monts, who regularly criticise Darwin Nunes, I'm always his biggest defender because I know what he's got. He's got the intangibles, the movement, the natural instinct. You can't train that. You either have it or you don't, and Darwin Nunes has it. He has it in abundance. so I'm not criticising him. Big ups to my guy Steve. Spurs midfield is better than ours. They'll beat us. Our attack is better than theirs. Our defense is better than theirs, and their midfield is not much better than ours. Especially if James Maddison is injured. What Bissouma, Sarr, and Højbjerg against Soboslai, Jones, McAllister. It's about neck and neck. It's about neck and neck. Thoughts on the game yesterday? My prediction was 2-0. What was your prediction? My prediction before the game was I think I said 2-1. City don't fear anyone. The City should have to fear someone though. They not fear in the sense of we're never going to beat them, but there should be a sense of worry when they play us because they know what we have a proven track record of being able to beat them. And now that we're back at a level where we can compete with them, I think that fear's got to be there. We still need the proper DMIO end away in it. I agree, but I'm also intrigued to see what happens when Bajcetic is fully back into the fold. I think that's really going to be an interesting thing to see when Bajcetic is fully reintegrated. So I think that's something that's got to be considered as well. And that Spurs game will be a basketball match. Hopefully not. I'd love to get stats on how many chances Haaland or Mo gets to ratio of goals scored. Or you can just do big chances scored versus big chances missed. That's normally the ratio you go for on that. So if I just pull up this, it's Salah stats 2023/2024. We'll go just Premier League only. We'll go Premier League only. Stats Premier League 23/24. So I've got Salah's up here. Presents, share screen, this one. So for Mo Salah, he has missed 2 big chances, scored 3 goals. So he's had probably, I don't know how many big chances it is he's scored and he's missed. I can normally see that on a different app. But that's a decent. In fact, I can probably do it on this, can't I? Because I know the phone does it. I know my phone does it. Premier League. I'll just have to show it to the camera. I'll pull up Salah and Haaland for you, mate. So Salah. Does it have? Yes, it does. Great. And Haaland. So, if you can, let's see if that's going to read properly. Is it going to focus? It's the bottom 2. Focus for me. There you go. Salah is the one on this side, and Haaland's the one on the other side. So Haaland's had 15 big chances, scored 6, missed 9. Salah's had 5 big chances, scored 3, missed 2. And if I find Nunes now, Nunes has had 8 big chances, scored 2, missed 6. So he's got a 25% conversion rate. Haaland has about 33%, something like that, conversion rate. And Mo Salah's got a 66 or something like that percent conversion rate of big chances. Again, I'm not using it as beat a stick by people. Players miss big chances. Suarez in his best ever season for us missed loads. It happens. Why do you think we start games so poorly? What do you think it is? Couldn't tell you. It's been a thing. That's happened for us three. I don't even think we started the game poorly. We went ahead after 16 minutes. I think we just had West Ham had a spell. I think teams have spells against us, and this season they're coming early. It happens. So I'm not stressing out about it as much as maybe others are. It's annoying, but I don't think there's a real thing we're doing wrong. I think it's how football goes. The lack of a genuine top DM still worries me. Fair enough. Shout out Jones yesterday, played very well. Robbo was quietly going about his business this season. Nunes' overall performance was actually very good yesterday. Yet Nunes showed all the aspects to a top striker's game. Robbo was quietly going about his business this season. I agree. He's still having some poor games, but he's playing that role a lot better. Give me VVD from 21-22, not extremely happy. I agree. Most of our fans have forgotten how wasteful Mo Salah was in the previous season. Darwin is now doing exactly what Klopp wanted by getting involved in the game, more link-up play and defensive also. Yeah, Nunes has shown all the aspects of a top striker's game, and these mistakes, these misses, they're going to happen as part of an attacker, which is why, like I said, I don't beat attackers by that stick very often, especially when they're showcasing all the other things. We were the team that thrived by having a striker who didn't score goals. So, respect my point, bro. Being Darwin doesn't get as many chances as Haaland. Having said that, Haaland is the best striker by far in the Prem. I think they're getting similar levels of chances. I mean, Nunes had what was that? 8. But you got to bear in mind, Nunes played a lot fewer minutes than Haaland. Haaland had 16. So Nunes, if I do the math real quick, Nunes has played less than half the minutes of Haaland and got half the chances. So they're getting chances on a similar level. They're getting chances on a similar level, which is good. It's good. I'm not bothered about that. It's good. Tom, opinion on Simicast's new contract, and apparently LC is also looking to give Thiago a new contract. Simicast's new contract is what it is. Hopefully it's just a value retainer, so we can offload him in the summer. Because I don't think he's a very good left back. I think he's a better left wing back, and we don't play with a wing back. The Thiago one, give him massively reduced wages, and I mean like less than 100k, and I'm not too bothered by it. But I'm not having him on 200k a week here. No. I still think he's a very good midfielder, but you've got to understand what you've got. And right now, at the age of 32, if he's happy to take massively reduced wages, I'm always happy to have him in the squad. I think he's a fantastic option, but it's what it is, isn't it? Low-key, Gakpo's cameo is going on the radar. Thought he did very well when he came on. Gakpo done what he's supposed to when he come on. Yeah, I don't think Thiago deserves a new contract. I don't think he does either. If you're doing it by what they've achieved and, do they deserve it per se? Probably not, no. But he's a good player and I'll be happy to have him in the squad. Why the promotion teams have to be so bad? I thought it'd be the year the blue and white go down. They still could. I think that they're not very good. This is the thing. One of them promoted teams is going to pull something else. It's just going to be a bit later on the season. We need to stop comparing Nunes to elite strikers at the moment. He's not close to that, but time will tell. Yeah, you've got to compare him to elite strikers because we are an elite team, and you compare elite teams to elite teams, and elite teams have elite strikers. And the fact is, Nunes actually compares quite well against these elite strikers, whether we like it or not. I think last season Darwin tried too hard to prove himself. That's why Suarez told him to remain calm and just play his game. Klopp is the perfect manager to get the best out of him. Darwin Nunes was just having the typical first season of a player who's never played in the Premier League. It's fine. We got outplayed by Wolves in the first half. If we played that against Spurs, we're fucked. But okay. That was also a massively rotated side. Let's bear in mind that Wolves game had Gakpo and Jota starting because Diaz and Nunes couldn't play. They were tired from international break. McAllister in the midfield, who shouldn't have started. And a defence that had Gomez, Matip, and Quansah all playing together for the first time since pre-season. It was going to be dysfunctional. When all the starters came on in the second half, we were the better side. So it's fine. Why should City fear anyone? They've won 5 titles in 6 seasons, just won the treble. Not fear in the sense of, we can't, like I said, not in the sense of, we can't win, but the fact that we are the biggest threat to them. And there will be an element of fear considering the track record we've got. Happy birthday, Tom Little. Thank you, MTAS. Arsenal and Spurs drawing goes is good because both drop points. Liverpool, the team that can challenge City. I can't lie, if someone beat both Spurs and Brighton, then I might even consider that we might be title challengers. I think you've got to consider us there already, whether or not you like it. If Liverpool fix defence, they can go far and challenge in league. Alisson, what a top goalkeeper he made. Costa good say. Alisson Becker's a joke of a goalkeeper. He's so good. He's so good. Only way I see he's winning the titles if we get to January, we're within 5 wins City, and we go and get a DM and a centre back. I don't know about the centre back stuff, because I think Klopp believes he's got his 5 already. He's got Van Dijk, Canate, Gomez, Matip, and Quansah, and yes, 3 of them are injury prone. But the odds of all three getting injured for long periods of time at the same time are not very high. So I don't think the club are going out to buy a centre back. I just don't think it's going to happen. Big ups football gossip. Happy 30th birthday. Uncle Couple's late to party was still arrived. If Thiago accepts a huge pay cut, then I'm happy for him to stay. He's got to go on to less than 100k, but he's a good squad option. So I'm not bothered. If he can help nurture the likes of Bajcetic for another couple of years, that's fine by me. Why would you be happy to pay Thiago a few million more quid just so we can land the sick bed for us most of the time? How does that help us? Not a lot, I know. Yes, but it also depends what you're paying him for. Like, if Thiago ends up dropping into a experienced rotation role, I've got no problem with it. That's fine, but he's got to be on a lot less money. Yeah, I don't think Matip Thiago should be getting the deals. You need to get rid of the OEPs and bring in younger talent. You also need experience in the squad. You do need some experience in that midfield. It is a young midfield. And if, again, Thiago is probably one of the most experienced players in the world. I hate the fact that we play McAllister as a DM. That past year, last game's was insane. I think we start end of the DM, play Mac as a centre mid. I think McAllister as a DM works because you've got Curtis Jones there. I don't think Endo was ready for that DM spot yet. If I'm being honest, if I had to push McAllister to the centre mid, I'd play Bajcetic. And the final one before I dip people, one thing that I think can help us defensively is if Matip and Joe keep playing this way or better, then Canate will step again and play the front line. I agree. I think Canate is the one who spots most at risk, and it'll be a really, really interesting one. But people, I'm going to call it there. I'm going to love yous, leave yous. I might be back around 8ish. Not fully, set in stone yet, but I might be back around 8ish. So check out the channel around then for some more content. But I'm going to love yous, leave yous. If you're new here, you're not ready, make sure you're in that like button, hit that subscribe button, turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any more content. In a bit, everyone. In a bit. Ta-ra.